Okay, let's see who is awake. Totally random. Sunday morning, I need a shave because I look like crap. Anybody? The Bad Cheetah. Yes, great news would be awesome. Thanks for joining. It's hard because like the screen I'm reading chats over here and then the camera's over here. So there was some, let's see, transcription. Can you hear me okay? Let me know if you can hear me. With my Amazon mic. I don't have the big setup like a lot of YouTubers where they're sitting there hugging the mic and talking, being all, what's the word? GQ looking, I guess. I don't know. I guess I just dated myself. All right, so I don't know. The Bad Cheetah? Is that one I'm reading that? Are you from Telegram or TikTok? How did you find me? So I'm going to read this transcription from Mark. TikTok. Okay. Well, welcome to YouTube. Let's see. So Mark saying we're hearing money is moving fairly quickly, but we have heard this before. Some member is saying what are some of the milestones or markers you are still looking for before the notifications. Mark said, for me, I think we need to see more farm claims and settlements paid, fines and penalties. And then pass farm claims into CMKX. So those are some of the milestones that he's looking for in the coming days. That was pretty much the juice of his podcast yesterday. Got any questions? Anything you want to talk about? Let's see. I guess I can put this on TikTok and see if anybody's awake over there. What's the deal with the Black Swan event do I think it's going to happen? It's always said that there's going to be one, whether that's the stock market crash or the World War III scare. I mean, they're definitely beating that drum with all the um, stuff that's going on between Israel and Iran and the rest of the world over there. So I don't know. Black Swan is such a wide swath of things that it could fall into. So I mean, it could be overturning of the election. It could be, again, the stock market crash, which I guess we were very close to a couple weeks ago, but then they somehow revived that dying horse. But so yeah, there's many things that a black swan event could be. Hey, TikTok doing a live right now as we speak, so I'm going to put the link in this description and we'll see you there. All right, you just got to see me do a live TikTok. And away it goes. Yeah, it's funny. I have my other TikTok destroyed or taken away, deleted, whatever you want to call it. Actually, I like this one better because it's not such random stuff. I don't know how it's different. And again, I don't know that my other one wasn't set United Kingdom. I never looked. But for whatever reason, when I restarted this one, it I start getting all the stuff from the United Kingdom, and that made me go look and see where I was plugged in at. So I don't know, but this one is definitely so as you like things and it builds algorithms, it's definitely pulling in more stuff that I like. So I don't know. I guess I'll go with it. So any other questions you got? Waiting for people in my Telegram room to wake up. So how long have you been in all this, and what was your intro into this world? Um, was it through currency or through, you know, finding out about Nasara? Okay, so you're a veteran. Thank you for your service. Do you have the Saddam Hussein dinar, or do you have what's their current version? Yeah, so um, Mark Z has always said to take it with you at the exchange. They may honor it, they may not. I don't know, but I would definitely take it with you whenever it's time to go to an exchange center, whether that's a bank, which more than likely it will be, or if it's going to be the big redemption center that everyone talks about. So, what camp are you in? Do you believe it's only going to be Iraq, or do you think it's going to be the global 209 country RV? I guess you don't have to choose. It can be kind of where I'm at. Is I believe in the global reset. I just kind of just have this nagging thing that Iraq might go first. Um, and I believe the global RV is tied to politics, unfortunately. So I don't know. I don't know if we have to ride out that storm or not. It's very quiet here. I feel like I should have some noise going on or some music or something. uh, yes, definitely. Iraq is the main cog in this whole machine. Um, I firmly 100% believe that. Um, and so Kuwait was the pilot program for what they were doing and are doing in Iraq. And in my own personal belief, I think that so they did this pilot test in Kuwait. They devalued their currency. People in the know bought it up, and then they reinstated the currency, and people were instantly millionaires. And I think that they wanted to do the same thing in Iraq, but faster. But then, of course, you know, if you're in the camp that believes in white hats and all that stuff, for whatever reason, it got delayed. More people found out about it. It's taken way longer than they ever intended. Fortunately for us who have gotten in the last short term or long term, but had this gone in um, 2012, whatever, there's a lot of a lot of people who are in it now that wouldn't have known about it. So while it sucks that we're still here waiting, it's going to benefit a lot more people. Yeah, yeah, that was that was the if only I had a time machine. But yeah, that was the thing with Kuwait. It was before the dawning of the internet and social media and cell phones and all that stuff. So but yeah, I mean, it would have been awesome to be in the know on that one. But I guess here we are in the know on this one. And it's hard to understand because it's like, well, hard to understand. It's I don't know how much you're plugged into this, but this is like my world. So it's first thing I do when I wake up, last thing I do when I go to bed. So it's like all consuming for me and for a lot of people, especially like Telegram and this small circle of people here. So it's hard to like register in my brain that there's millions of people out there who don't know about it. And I've tried to introduce it to people, and I've got maybe three, four, five people invested in it, and the rest of them are like, it's a scam, blah blah blah. You can't make money that way. So there's a lot of people who don't know about this or aren't going to know about it. And then once it's done, they're gonna be like, "Why didn't you tell me about it?" I did. I tried. Right. What other questions you got? Yeah. So they are coming out of the woodworks with trying to come up with the next COVID. So now on Crash the Matrix just posted. If you haven't heard of this yet, the new narrative is disease triple E, so EEE, and it's all the mosquitoes are dumping out of these helicopters. They're doing their damnedest trying to do another lockdown. It's pissing me off. Yeah. Vietnam and Iraq are heavily commingled. Um, they're they use each other's currency to purchase goods, and so they're very codependent on each other. So as the value of the dinar rises, it's naturally going to pull the value of the dong up with it. So those are, if I was telling someone to get into this, those would be the two currencies that I would recommend getting. And if it's somebody on a budget that can't go out and buy $1 million of dinar, because it is still, I think it's like 1,050 for a million on currency exchange last time I checked. So a lot of people don't have $1,000 laying around. So I would say take $200 and buy some Vietnamese dong and then sit on it until it happens. If you're on a budget. I absolutely hate wearing glasses. Do you believe in med beds? Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing with all this Democrats trying to, and sheep in general, trying to blame Trump for warp speed and the jab. What he presented was not what the current jab is. You can still, so Exchange America, let me look it up. I don't want to misquote that web address because there's some spoof sites out there similar to it. Get back to here, go to here. All right, so let me put it in here. And I am not affiliated or sponsored by these people, so. All right. I hope that's right. If that doesn't work, just go to your browser and type in X Change of America and it should populate. But they still have all the currencies and it's a legit currency exchange site. So you have to verify your identity and all that stuff. But they will do FedEx overnight shipping. And I've done that several times. Yeah, eBay is. I've never purchased from them, but several people have that are in my Telegram room. Just read the reviews before you hit the click the purchase button. Um, yeah, don't. I think it's like last time I checked, it was like $78 on Exchange of America. Let's see what it's saying. Okay. So $1 million is 68 bucks American US on Exchange of America. Let's see what dinar is going for. Actually, still have some. Yeah, so it's still 1,050 for $1 million IQD dinar on Exchange of America. Like I said, I've been to their location. I've picked up currency in person. They're great people. They're super friendly, super helpful. Yeah, 65, 68. I think the last time I bought some, it went up to 78, but for whatever reason, it's come back down. So, what areas are you guys in? Have you seen any of the craziness from these immigrants, invaders, illegal invaders? Not tell me specifically where you're at, but just West Coast, East Coast, Central, big city, small city. Yeah. West Texas. Yeah. Lived in Texas for almost 2 years in Justin, Texas. Yeah, okay, Richmond, Virginia. Yeah, I saw. I think it was a YouTube short or YouTube video, or Kevin TikTok. I can't remember. Um, that they'll have someone's social security number, and if they can go to a state that just gives anybody a driver's license, a group of them will go and give the same social security number, and the people at the desk don't question it because they have a social security number, and then they get a license, and that's how they like do these, get a license. It's just, there's so much wrong with our country. I think, I don't know the details of squatters' rights, but I believe that is something that needs to go away. I mean, I understand the purpose of it back in the day, uh, the Wild West days and all that stuff. But now, in today's world, I think squatters' rights needs to go away, and you're gonna that way law enforcement have some legal teeth to get these people out of there when they're they go to Airbnbs and then they don't leave, and then if they find an abandoned house or they break in someone's house and then all of a sudden they claim it as their own. There's this one guy I saw on TikTok. I think he owns some Airbnbs, and someone did that to one of his properties. But apparently, he knows a local biker guy. I think it was. And the dude's like 6'8" or something, and he told him where there was a hidden key, and the dude went in there and basically removed the people with threat of bodily harm. But it worked. And that's what you have to do nowadays, I guess. What's your take on the Social Security number being done away with and a QFS number? I don't know. There's so much that has been and is being spread about with QFS and all the NESARA theories and all that stuff. It's hard to believe what's real and what isn't. We know the Social Security numbers, all that is deep state. So I could see some new program happening. I think it's very plausible, but honestly, I don't know. I haven't heard enough about it to form an opinion, but it's definitely plausible and probably would be a better system. So I'm fine with it. But yeah, I'm originally from Florida. We moved to the Jackson, Mississippi area for my wife took a promotion. So we're anxiously awaiting the next step to get back to Florida. But in Jackson, there's not many invaders here. There's not a ton of other demographics, foreign demographics, I should say, because there's just not much here. As far as it's growing, because Amazon is dumping multiple millions of dollars in this area, building new FCs, and I believe it's going to be AI, but they're building a couple of multi-million square foot facilities just for servers. So the AWS branch of Amazon, which is all their technology, they're breaking ground on some massive buildings for computer servers. But as of now, there's not a lot of don't knock my coffee off. Coda has said hi. Say hi, Coda. Okay. All right, but yeah, so there's not a lot of invaders here. Do you still think it could be a month or after the election to RV? I think it's either going to happen now or we're going to have to wait. So I think if we don't see something, cut it, buddy, you're really kind of getting on my nerves. If it doesn't happen in the next couple weeks, especially with Iraq, then we may have to wait till after the election. And I don't even want to voice that because I don't want, if you say it, it might become reality. So I don't know. Yes, AWS is one of the powerhouses in all this. Morning, Tony. Yeah, Cody's a good boy. He hurt his hip so we have a large walk-in shower, so I give him a shower in there. And so he came out and went like Mach 2 down the hallway to the laundry room because that's where we give him some treats and he dries out on the towels. And he went flying out of the shower and bam, hit the cabinet with his hip. And so he's been mending, which a puppy German Shepherd having to lay down, it's not a good thing. So, all right. So, any other questions? I hope we don't have to go through the whole election thing. I pray to God that somehow 2020 gets overturned, Trump comes back, but it doesn't seem like he's beating that drum. He's definitely got some stuff going on with RFK. I think we're going to see some plot twist with that. Yeah, he's 2. So in German Shepherd years, they keep growing until they're about 3. And then they just fill out. But yeah, he's definitely all puppy. He still wants to get he thinks he can get up here on my lap. Because when he was a puppy, I made a mistake of when I get on a computer and stuff, I'd have him on my lap. So like he still thinks he can do that. We finally broke him of like diving on us while we're on a couch or on a computer. But he's all puppy. Till somebody knocks on the door, then he sounds like a pack of wolves getting ready to bust through the door. It's funny watching Amazon drivers on the ring because they'll walk up to the door and he waits for them. And then it's like as soon as he hears that package ruffle, he's like blah, 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 climbing up the door. And we have like the privacy glass. So all I see is this big shadow clawing at the door and they're gone. Tony, I hope so, buddy. I definitely hope so. That would be the most amazing scenario. Mrs. D she's having a rough time. You throw a stick at anything and she's allergic to it. So unfortunately, so I can't remember she had this foot surgery about 6 months ago on a different part of her foot. And what a hydrocodone or something. And she like turned purple and was hives and had a really severe reaction to it. So they put her on something different this time, tramadol or something. And it was similar, but not as severe. So we don't know if it's the pain medicines or if it's the anesthesia. We're beginning to wonder if it's anesthesia that's causing this. But she broke out in hives and um, like looked like she had fell asleep in the sun. She was like beet red. Uh, so she's having a rough time, more a rougher time than she should be with this surgery. And she works in a 4 million square foot facility, and it's all concrete. And with her being in HR, she has to go talk to associates and all this stuff. So there's a lot of walking, and that's what's causing all these problems in her feet. And she has these surgeries and takes time off, heals up, and then she got to go right back to it. So that's what we're trying to alleviate this time. Um, and I'm like I've said numerous times, I'm at the point where we're going to sell everything, go buy a couple acres in Texas and put a trailer on it and ride this thing out. But hopefully, all this is going to transpire soon and it's going to be a mute point. But thank you for asking. So, what else you guys want to talk about? I figured we'd do this since there wasn't really any news to talk about. Let's see what's in the news. Not much. Diluted. No, she's allergic to that too. Like we both have had a lot of surgeries, unfortunately, and she's tried everything. That one, dilute, dilaudid, is she had a really bad reaction to that. So again, we're wondering if it's anesthesia. I'm heavily invested in a lot of different currencies. No, I have not seen anything on YouTube from Frank Mushman. His Patreon, he cranks out articles all day long. I only share something that's if it's I don't know where the right word is exciting, but if it's like pointing towards this thing going. But he all day long he puts out him and his team put out articles about the steps that Iraq is taking in their banking reform, how they're strengthening their trades, the things like that are all pointing us towards Iraq doing their delete the zeros, RI, RB, floating to the cap. Welcome to the live. This spring roll. Do I think they'll do away with cryptocurrency? I don't know. I'm not. Crypto is all Greek to me. I don't. It makes me nervous to even think about it. But if the QFS is a kind of crypto as in the sense that it's a ledger system. So I don't know about if there's truth to it's going to be somewhere to hold your money. Mr. C and different ones have said no, that's a ledger system. So I don't know if we go to the redemption center and there's that whole process. I don't know if our money's going to be put into a treasury account and then linked to the QFS, and then we have the ability to move it into bank accounts or um, purchases that way. But as far as crypto, I don't. I think XRP, XLM, I think those are going to be tied to the QFS. In my limited knowledge of it, uh, and Militia Man has talked about uh, XRP being used by Iraq to transfer funds, and that was a while back, so I don't remember the details of it. All right, so I can't imagine how Mark does this with this scroll thing going because it's here's a conspiracy. Frank 26 is not doing lives on YouTube. Mark Z had a very Springle. I don't know. Mark's always said that he would tell us if something's happened. Frank, I think, is I don't have anything to back this up, just personal opinion. I think Frank's looking very tired. So I don't know if he's having a big battle with his cancer. I don't know if it's coming back, but the last time I watched him, you can see just because my mother-in-law is going through this, I can recognize it. Um, he looks very tired. So I don't know if he's his battle with cancer is getting more intense. I'm not sure. Yes, QFS is blockchain ledger, correct? All right, so let me see what else we got. What's my take on? Oh yeah, so Alalak coming to New York is very pivotal, I believe. I'm hoping and praying he's coming with the rate. rbcurrency.com. Okay, I never heard of that. There's a lot. You just when you're buying currency on some other site or some other, do your research. Um, there's a browser that I've not explored a lot on it. It's called Yandex, Yandex. I believe it's could be Russian. I'm not sure, but it's not censored by Google, so you can get more honest results from them. I've used it a few times, but I've not explored it very much. I use Brave. Oh, and here's a little nugget for you. If you use Brave to watch videos on this platform, um, you won't get the commercials. Brave blocks them. So I do most of my YouTube viewing on the desktop, but so then when I go to my phone and like all of a sudden it gets blown up with the commercials, I about lose my mind. Alchemistic. Okay. I'm going to say something, and this is strictly in my opinion, and I might get some hate for it, but don't really care. Wando Saban is a turd. He's Black Hat. He is a grifter, and you should not follow anything that he says. And that's my take on it. And I hope that doesn't offend you, but I know way too much about him to ever believe a word that he says. Agreed, Tony 107 is not to be listened to. And we all did in the beginning. We all thought he was JFK Jr. or whatever. But no, he's total grifter, black hat. Yeah. I don't want to upset too many apple carts, but please do not listen to him. Yeah. Yeah, I think he's getting slaughtered on Twitter, and that's just. I hate saying X. It sounds so stupid. So for me, it's always Twitter. But yeah, he's getting slaughtered on Twitter. Um, there's Coda the vocal dog. Yeah, it does look like Sam Cax is gearing up to be the next big news, and I hope so. Those guys, well, we've all been in it forever, and but Sam Cax is they've been waiting a long time for their payout. But imagine like the how long like anyone associated with the Pigford farm claims and farm claims in general, those people have been waiting forever. Well, Scott, Coda's a very good boy. He's my last German Shepherd bear. I don't know if you can. There's a picture of him up there, but he was German show dog, so he was different, still German Shepherd, but different style of German Shepherd, and their personalities are like oil and water. Bear was very quiet. Uh, Unless he needed to bark, he didn't bark. He wasn't vocal. I swear Coda thinks he can talk. He's like we call him Scooby Doo because he's got that one floppy ear and he tries to talk all the time. But when I had Bear, um, my kids were in the picture and they were little, so we socialized him a lot. So he was a little too friendly, but he was still very protective. Where Coda has not been socialized at all, and he is very, very aggressive for a 2-year-old. Not that he would attack anybody, but he definitely knows his boundaries. The yard is his, and if anyone gets near it, he lets them know. And it's you've seen the little meme about the dogs on the other side of the retractable fence. So they're like barking, and then the fence goes away, and then they're buddies. So the neighbors have um, a schnauzer, the little short gray haired dog. And so they go at it at the fence. And so I'll open the gate and let go Coda go around to where it's split rail and they can see each other and then it's quiet. But like as soon as he comes back in the yard, it's to the gate again. Do you watch the new Greatest Show on Earth 2 yet? It's about the financial system, really good. No, I've not seen that. Is it a movie or is it a podcast? Coda's going to be a hoss, so he's still growing, but he's working line German Shepherd. So he's a lot more stocky than my last one, aren't you? Aren't you? You a good boy? You want to climb up here and see everybody? He's like, I don't know what's going on here. You're talking a lot, but I don't see anybody. It's the power of the internet, buddy. Went for dollars for now as a German Shepherd, and it was just it bit her on the leg. Yeah, that's weird. What's my gut feeling, buddy? All right, come on, you gotta go land. Cage. Cage. Sit. Stay. Um, Gut feeling on RV, Tony. That's hard because I've I've been telling the wife for years it's going to me. I know it. It's going to happen tomorrow. I know it. Um, Honestly, it's so conflicted because I want it to happen so bad. The nagging thing is just all the stuff that's going on with Trump, uh, and how much he's beating the election drum. I hope that we don't have to go through that, but I just don't know. I think Iraq is either going to do their thing very soon and kick all this off, or I, we may have to wait to see what happens with this election. I don't know. My gut is conflicted. And unfortunately, I don't have Mark's screaming gut that says, "Oh, my gut's screaming, we're going to go tomorrow." I don't. I hope so. And here's the thing that we kind of in our, as fast as possible world is just the simple fact that farm claims are being paid out. If all things are true, I mean, unless you know someone personally, we don't. We just have to assume that these things are true. If Pigford farm claims have been paid out, I guess that's a farm claim. Other farm claims are being paid out. CMKX is gearing up to be paid out, and I detest the word bonds people because I'm so sick of hearing about bonds people. But if they know what they're getting and they're just waiting on it to be released, those are major steps forward that we've never had before. So no, we've never been here before. But those are massive steps forward. I mean, think about it. That validates that all this stuff is real, if all things are true. So we're just such an instant the day of the internet that if news from this morning is already old. So we're conditioned to have instant information all the time. So these things, if it is true that Pickford was paid out, farm claims are being paid out, and all these things, those legitimize the fact that this is real. So I mean, that makes me feel good, and that kind of helps me to hang on. If we were, last year where it's like, oh my God, it's going to be Easter, it's going to be Memorial Day, it's going to be 4th of July weekend, it's going to be all these days that just, wash, rinse, repeat for the last 5 years. So at least now we have something that we can grab and hold on to. Farm claims are being paid out. That's good. That's real news. Okay, I'll have to check into that. Chanel, is it Chanel OG? So what do I think about the contract rate being given to Americans, and is that even possible? So here's my take on that. I think contract rate is probably not the best label for that. So what I think is going to happen is, they keep beating the drum of the delete the zeros is still there, still getting ready to happen. So I think when they flip that switch to delete the zeros, I think they're going to just fly on by 1-to-1. I think they're going to go straight to a RI. I think, and this is just my own personal spitball, it's probably going to reinstate. I would think maybe around between 340 and 350, and that's just picking pieces from Lishman and the different ones. Um, and then there's going to be a float to a cap. So if we do go through the whole our redemption process where you sit down, you turn in your currencies with uh, a banker and a treasury agent and all that stuff, I think the contract rate is going to be the cap rate. So I think, and this is just me spitballing. So I think the contractor rate is going to be the cap rate. So we won't have to wait for a float. That will just get the cap rate wherever it's going to be set at $4, 4.10, whatever. Um, that's just my personal opinion, and I don't think there's going to be, when it's all said and done, I don't think there's going to be two different rates like contractor rate and street rate. I think it's going to be, if you don't go through the redemption process, you're going to have to endure a float. So if you go through the redemption process, I think you're going to get the capped rate. So that's my take on that. I hope that made sense. Thanks to Tony, I turned that thing off where the little bubbles come up and it does that. So thanks, Tony. So yeah, Sweet Tea, that's weird. Your dog bit the owner. I would have to. Were they maybe playing around too rough, or was it a bad bite, or was it just a nip? All right, what else you got? We've been on for about an hour now, so it was just totally random. I just want to see who was awake and what you guys got. Bet your daughter's just walking. Was it a bad bite or was it just a nip? Was there any was So I guess my thought would be, was there something, was the dog not wanting to walk? Was there, did it have an injury? Sometimes if it's a nip, not like a vicious bite, German shepherds and dogs bite and nip to steer, broke the skin, but wasn't running down her leg. Yeah, that's a strong bite. I don't know. I mean, I guess without knowing the circumstances, German shepherds usually have to have a reason to bite. And is it a reactive dog? Is it like, does it snap a lot? Um, I don't know. That's weird. Well, hopefully they don't have to put it down. Now, when my youngest daughter was little, she was out playing and they were walking through their house and a friend was showing her. Yeah, I don't know. It could have been that the dog was trying to. That's weird. 10 years old. I would 10-year-old. I would have a good vet check done with blood work. Mine was 10. He got cancer, so that can affect their way of thinking. So yeah, I would if did they have to put it down or do anything like that? Is the dog acting okay now? But I would advise getting some blood work done and get a good bill of health. Never heard of Larry Wood. Yeah, I would definitely recommend everyone in this time that we're twiddling our thumbs learn about money, learn about investing, learn about um, long-term investing, interest-bearing rates versus non-interest-bearing rates. Um, it's like the old saying from Spider-Man or something: with great responsibility, great power comes great responsibility, or something like that. If the world is going to go through turbulent times like we're being told, and the dollar tanks, and we suddenly have wealth, I would highly recommend people learn about money, learn about investing, purchase land, um, and precious metals because they're not making either one of those anymore. Um, and be very careful about who you tell about money because you'll have best friends coming out of the woodwork, relatives coming out of the woodwork, and protect yourself. You know, we all want nice cars, and and I'm low parody bear. Um, when we first got into this, I was guilty of it. I'm like looking at houses in the Bahamas, G wagons, and all this stuff. Be very careful about buying flashy cars and Rolex and all these things because if we are in for turbulence in our nation and with all these invaders and all that stuff, if we have to endure that and it's not like Nasara and they have to go back to their home countries to get their piece of the pie, wearing flashy things, driving a high end car, you're a target. Um, and these people who are invading our countries, they can spot that a mile away. Where we're kind of we live in America, and even here in Mississippi, it's like the home of Mercedes. Like everybody has a Mercedes around here. It's very weird. But these people who are coming from these third world countries, they can spot that because in their world, if you have one of these high end cars or you wearing flashy jewelry, you're loaded. You have millions. So be very careful about that as this thing happens and unrolls, rolls out. And like I said, I would love to have a G wagon, but it's really the Countdown Aykroyd. Not sure what you're trying to say there, but yeah. So just be careful as you go forward. Learn about money, learn about investing, temper your purchases until all the dust settles. Invest in precious metals, land, um, things like that are tangible. Okay. Yeah, I think I've seen that Mercedes plant. Oh, the Mandela effect. Yeah, there's a lot of weirdness with the Mandela effect. But yeah, so around here, there's a Nissan factory, so it's like either Nissan or Mercedes. It's very very weird. From where we live in Florida, everybody had Jeeps or high end cars, Ferraris, and all that. Yeah, Parody Bear. Somebody on TikTok or somewhere. No, it was a YouTube comment. Um, Listed like you can go find. I can't remember. I think it was on the one I did about lightning bugs, but they listed this big long thing of Mandela effects. Uh, One that my wife and I discussed that's not a Mandela effect. They want you to believe it is Chick-fil-A. So the spelling of Chick-fil-A changed a few years back. Uh, they it's Chick Chick, where it used to be. They dropped the K. Um, and in my conspiracy mind, I believe that that's when they changed the food to where it's like highly addictive now. Um, but there was a lot. They wanted you to believe that was a Mandela effect, but it wasn't. They secretly sold the company to somebody, and that's when all this they started adding all these addictive chemicals to their food. So let me get caught up over here. Oh, okay, Prairie Bear. Let's see, Paul. Paul, yeah, there's definitely the rumors are out there, and with Al coming to New York, that's highly probable. I mean, we're all hoping that he's coming with the new rate and settling their debts. They have they've and since they passed the budget in 23, they have done decades worth of work in these last couple of years. So they've paid off all their war reparations to Kuwait. They've paid off other debts to other nations. So yeah, Iraq has come leaps and bounds. Yeah. We were discussing earlier if you're on a budget, the best currency to buy is Vietnamese dong. Um, if you can afford dinar, I would definitely keep buying dinar. But if you're on a tight budget, get dong. Yes, there's definitely politics involved, um, and it's like ping pong. Is it the treasury? Is it Iraq? Is it the treasury? Is it? It's like Monday it's the treasury's holding it up, and then Wednesday it's Iraq holding it up, and by Friday you're back to treasury holding it up. So my take is if it's treasury holding it up, then it's political. Trump waiting for Trump's plan to roll out. Uh, if it's Iraq holding it up, then it's just the work that they're doing and continuing to do, and um, hopefully we're at the end of that. Bolivar is definitely it's a great value. It's the dark horse. Nobody knows what it's going to go for. I've heard everything from 1 to 1, 17 cents, 23 cents. So it's like this: if you spent $500 on a stack of Bolivar and it goes for 1,000, you've you've made money. So that's my take on it. I bought a bunch of it back when it was super cheap, and it's sitting in sitting in there collecting dust, and whatever I get for it is going to be more than I paid for it. So that's my take on it. Same thing with Zim. I got it back when it was super cheap. Um, so that's the other great mystery, Zim bonds. What else you guys got? So there's so many currencies that people will ask Mark about that I've never heard of before, like the Yugoslavian currency, and it's like 5 Yugoslavian something or something dinar. And it's like, I don't even know where they come up with these names. What do you consider cheap for those currencies? Honestly, it's been so long since I've purchased any. If you scroll up in the chat, I put a link to exchangeofamerica.com. And you can check what it's a currency exchange site so you can see what they're selling for. I think Dong right now is $68. You can find it on eBay, Amazon. I bought some from Amazon, but wherever you source it from, research the site, or if you're getting on eBay, research the seller. Just make sure you're protecting yourself and your investment. Rupaya, yes, I bought some of that. So it's rumored to go for $1.47. So I bought some just to buy it. So $1 million is going to be 1.47 million. But that was years ago, so I can't remember what I paid for it, and two, I don't know if the price has gone up on it. But yeah, I mean, if you're just looking to diversify your portfolio, then yeah, I would get the list of the 209 currencies that are supposed to go in the first basket, and chances are you're going to find some of them that are very affordable, and then just buy what you can afford and stick it on the shelf. But it's again, it's a speculative investment, so don't invest anything that you're not willing to stick on a shelf and not worry about, and don't use credit cards. That is a sticky situation. I'm trying to see. Okay, looks like we got 12 people in here. The window for this live stream is different than what I'm used to seeing. All right, guys. So you got any more questions? If not, we'll hop off here and enjoy our Sunday. So you guys think we're going to have lockdowns again with all these COVID variants? You got fake dinar on eBay. Okay, yeah, that's good. You got your money back. You're lucky. You're very fortunate that you got your money back. Can you do a quick summary of the day? I just saw you live. Screw the lockdowns. Oh, I fully concur. What was some of the craziest things you guys saw during the lockdowns? Quick summary of the day. We were just discussing where to source currencies from, educating yourself about investments, learning about money, because you're going to be coming into wealth. So you definitely need to learn about, if you don't know, I'm not making assumptions about anybody, but if you don't know about investings, if you don't know about different types of interest-bearing account, non-interest-bearing accounts, learn about trust, the different kinds of trust. If I have a trust that is set up, and when I set it up, I spoke to the attorney, and I was like, I told him my theory about the, Admiralty law going away, and I wanted something that would be constitutionally based. And so that was the trust that he drew up. So he said if the Bar Association went away, this trust would still stand. Will we need it? I don't know, but it made me feel better about having it. So if you are going to sit down with an attorney, And I recommend doing it through an attorney, not, LegalZoom or whatever, legaldocument.com. Just make sure that you specify that you want something that's constitutionally based, common law. Uh, and that way it'll survive, when the SARA happens and the bar association goes away. Um, and then other than that, we're just talking about German Shepherds and different things like that. This will be recorded and you can go back and watch it again. All right, so let me get caught up here. Yeah, the toilet paper caper of 2020 was that feels like it's going to be a Saturday Night Live spoof one day or something. I don't know. It was ridiculous. And yes, we have toilet paper and paper towels coming out of the wazoo now because we stocked up. So you want to tell an attorney that you're a conspiracy theorist and you believe the bar association is going to go away. So you want a trust that's based on constitutional law or common law, and that if your history proves that you're correct and the bar association go away, your trust will still be valid. What's the matter? Gotta go out. For all those joining, here's Coda. Say hi, Coda. So yeah. Guys, got any more questions? Because I think Coda's got to go out and do his business. But like I said, this is like recording, so it should be living out there on YouTube. Once we're done, you can go back and watch it again. Oh, Claremont County, okay. Yeah, so I grew up in Southwest Ohio, so I know where Claremont County is. Yeah, I do real estate, and I can remember having open houses once the craziness kind of. Florida was one of the first states to open back up, so there was still a bunch of masked Nazis out there. I don't know. Hopefully this AI doesn't catch that word. Masked people. And I remember this open house I had, and these 2 or 3 Karens came in there, and I didn't wear a mask. I never did. And they were like, "Oh my gosh, you don't have a mask. You're doing a." I said, "Ma'am," I lied. I said, "The house is sold, so I'm going to save you your time. There's the front door. You can exit now because the house is under contract." It wasn't. I did sell it that day, but currently it wasn't. But I was like, I'm not in the mood for any Karens. Yeah, parodies. Yeah. So yeah, 107, steer clear. True. And it's like you can't unsee it. So my wife had surgery yesterday, so we weren't at a hospital, thankfully. We were at a surgery center. And it's like it's a different world. I mean, I watched everything they did. I watched everything that they were putting in her IV. I was questioning it, and it's just the world that we live in now. If you're awake. And I told my wife, I was like, I would have to be dying to go to a hospital, to an emergency room. And then on the little electronic things they want you to scroll and sign, don't do that. Do not do it. Get a physical copy. And if you have the time, read it. I know in an emergency situation you don't, but there's a lot of language in those things that we used to just scroll and sign that is bad. So carnivore is the best way to go. Carnivore ish. But yeah, there's a reason that they don't want you eating red meat, and it's not what they tell you. All right, guys, Coda is crying at the door, so I got to get off here. So it's been great doing this. I'll try to do some more, and then we'll see what's going on. Yeah, so basically, the same thing with mainstream media. If they're telling you it's black, it's white. If it's good, it's bad. If it's bad, it's good. So I feel sorry for the people who refuse to wake up or just haven't figured it out because. Mm. All right, guys, that's it for today. So anything breaks, I'll jump on, do a short or TikTok. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys later. Yes, I want to end.